to play in the second half. That is a direct conflict with goals with both sides. So this is certainly a situation, even if it goes past the deadline, to monitor.
Okay, so we are going to be watching this for the next couple of hours and potentially the next couple of months. Shams, thank you very much for that insight. Can you help me make sense of this? What we're hearing from Giannis, the reporting, it all seems to be sort of going back and forth here.
Well, he obviously is letting you know that it's what they, not what I. It's a lot of they. However, there's a certain amount of players that I look at that are magnets, meaning LeBron James was a magnet. Steph Curry's a magnet,
sure.
Meaning people want to play with them. Wemby.
Yeah.
So look, Giannis is a magnet. Even being in a small market like Milwaukee, Dame Lillard was ecstatic about going to Milwaukee. So now, when you put this position out, the Milwaukee Bucks are forced. There is no comeback because now you're saying that the magnet might not want to be here or not be here. So your free agency, even in the summer, you can't attract people when you don't know the magnet is going to be there. And so without Giannis, they have now put themselves in a position where I think they have to trade him. Because if you had also said, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we bring another guy in here with Giannis, their phone would have rang as well. So they have put themselves now, to me, in a position of trading him at some point.
Haven't the Bucks done that, though? Haven't the Bucks done literally every single move?
But you can continue to do that because he's such a great player. You can still bring someone in.
I think James
like
Harden needs to meet up with Giannis and teach Giannis how to ask for a trade. Nobody gets themselves traded like James Harden, and Giannis can't handle this. He just needs to be clear, and he has not been clear, and that has given the Bucks an out.
That's the biggest thing. Malika just read his comment part. To me, that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I love Milwaukee, but I want to win. They're not going to win this year. So that's clear. I agree with what Kenny just said. He's got to find a new place to go play because Milwaukee, that's done. That's a wrap.
That's dead bird, tall grass. You're absolutely right. But here's why I disagree with you at, Wendy. Right now, this is on the Milwaukee Bucks. Somebody need to actually call the police.
How's that working?
Let me tell you.
Working.
Hold on. Run an investigation because they holding the man hostage. The only reason that we have these reports right now is because Giannis is trying to be polite about this. He has went to those people behind closed doors and let...
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you just saw that clip, you felt the frustration, right? We're in the middle of the biggest trade saga of the season, maybe the last few years, and it's getting messy. Let's break down what we just heard. The panel is essentially split on who's to blame for this Giannis stalemate. On one side, you've got the argument that Giannis is being way too polite. He's a two-time MVP, a champion, a franchise icon, and he's essentially told the Bucks behind closed doors, it's time to part ways. But because he's not doing a James Harden-style public meltdown, showing up out of shape, demanding a trade on a podcast, forcing the issue, the Bucks front office feels like they have an out. They can pretend they're not getting clear signals. They can drag this out. As one of the guys said, they're basically holding the man hostage because they know Giannis cares about his legacy and doesn't want to burn bridges in Milwaukee. That's a powerful point. The organization is leveraging his loyalty against him. But then there's the other side, the counter-argument we heard. Giannis has to be clearer. The Bucks have tried. They traded for Damian Lillard. They went all in. The results haven't been there this season, but it's not for a lack of big swings. So from the Bucks' perspective, Giannis's recent comments are classic 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He says he wants to be a Buck for life, but then talks about how few chances he has left to win. That's confusing. In the business of the NBA, ambiguity is a loophole. If Giannis truly wants out, he might need to do what every other superstar has done in this player empowerment era and make it undeniably publicly messy. The Bucks front office, led by John Horst, can't just blow up a franchise based on whispers and private meetings. They need a formal, unambiguous request to justify a franchise-altering trade to their fans and ownership. This is the fascinating crossroads we're at. We're watching a clash between old-school loyalty and modern NBA business tactics. Giannis represents that old-school ideal, the drafted superstar who wants to win there. But the machinery of the league, the media pressure, the agent influence, the comparison to other super teams pushes toward the modern path of forcing your way to a new contender. And let's talk about the stakes here. If the Bucks wait until the summer, Giannis goes into the final year of his deal. His value is still astronomical, but he gains massive leverage. He can essentially pick his destination by threatening to only re-sign with one team. The Bucks get diminished returns. If they trade him now, they get the best possible package to jumpstart a rebuild. Think multiple young stars and a haul of picks from Miami or Minnesota. But pulling that trigger means officially ending an era and likely facing years in the wilderness. The other layer is what this does to the Bucks right now. As the clip pointed out, if Giannis stays but wants out and the team is losing, what's the goal? Is he going to play heavy minutes to try and win games, hurting their lottery odds, or do they shut him down, creating an even more toxic environment? It's a lose-lose for the rest of this season. So, what's my take? I think the Bucks are making a critical error in judgment. They're reading Giannis's professionalism as indecision. When a player of his caliber privately asks for a new start after giving you a decade, a championship, and multiple MVP seasons, you owe it to him to honor that request proactively. Dragging it out damages your relationship with the player, hurts your leverage in trade talks because everyone knows he wants out, and alienates your fan base with months of exhausting drama. It's bad business. The right move is to be proactive. Thank him for everything. Work with him to find a suitable destination that brings back a king's ransom and start the next chapter with clarity and a war chest of assets. Holding on to a superstar who's mentally checked out helps nobody. It just turns you into a circus. But what do you all think? Is Giannis being too nice? Are the Bucks right to wait for a harder push? And which team, Miami, Minnesota, or a dark horse, should be going all in with an offer before the deadline hits? Let me know in the comments below. This is the story of the NBA season, and we're watching it unfold in real time.